What's with the late offensive production? How can we get that the whole game? Is it the play calling, players getting in rhythm, or something else?
When you say late offensive production, were we not producing? Like what? I guess specifically, what are you talking
I
about?
think he's talking about 7 points final drive.
Specifically, just touchdowns. Well, the simple answer to that is this: when the field gets condensed, it's a lot harder to score for anybody. And when you talk about the Baltimore Ravens, they're one of the top red zone defenses. Also, think about the graphics that they kept talking about last night with their defense. You notice they don't give up a ton of touchdowns, and they don't give up a ton of touchdowns in the red zone. When the field is condensed, the execution becomes even more prevalent. And when the field is condensed, those mismatches that you might have in between the 20s, big speed guys, you don't have that down there anymore because I'm not worried about you running over top of me. And you got multiple ways of how to combat elite wide receivers or elite quarterbacks. You can blitz them and make them have to get rid of the ball very fast because you don't have to worry about the vertical threat. So now a guy like a James Pierre who may not have the foot speed to guard a guy in the 20s, when the field is condensed and he's only having to worry about running with this guy for 25 yards at full speed, he can do that. So you can get a little bit more aggressive. Or you take the approach of, okay, I'm going to rush 3 guys and I'm going to max coverage. I'm going to drop 8 guys back there. And now you got to hold this ball. You got to hold this ball. And if your offensive line can't protect, now you're trying to hold this ball, but you can't hold the ball because I got guys actually rushing on you. So it's just a lot of different things. And then when you're talking about the windows, you got to see it, and it happens extremely fast in the red zone because, once again, the field is condensed. So that window for that throw when you're at midfield, you got a lot more time to make it. That window's a lot wider. When it's the red zone and it's condensed, you got one angle to make that throw, and if you don't hit it right there, it's a wrap. So that's the other reason, why we don't have as much production offensively in terms of scoring. Because to me, I still think we're very productive offensively. When you're talking about double-digit play drives, you're not having those at this level if you're not a productive offense, if you're not a consistent offense. And that is what they've been showing. And that's not just this game. That's, season wide. You look at the Steelers in terms of double-digit play drives, they're one of the league leaders in that because they are very productive in that phase. But that's the big reason why they struggle in the red zone, why a lot of teams at this level struggle in the red zone. The red zone is tough. That's why it's such an important piece. That's why when you're talking about the preparation, we put a lot more stock in our preparation for red zone defenses because it's not weighted the same. When you're down in that area, man, points are at stake and every little thing matters. The difference between, you getting a touchdown and you having to settle for a field goal could be a holding penalty. It could be an illegal formation. It could be something so small. It could be the difference of a drop. And those are some of the concepts that, this team right now, as they're continuing to grow, they're learning that and they're getting better with those executions. But I look at it like this. I would much rather them be able to score touchdowns in the gotta have it moments because you can catch back up in terms of just learning how to score earlier in games or executing a little bit better in the red zone. But you don't always know if a team is going to have that gene or a team is going to have that confidence where they can collectively execute and score a touchdown in a gotta have it situation. Like that's what makes it
Big
so
deal.
impressive as like a defender. It's way more impressive when I can see a guy do it when everybody knows they have to score right here. It's not like first quarter where it's like you can settle for a field goal. It ain't the end of the world. You score a touchdown, great, cool. Man, how many teams score touchdowns first 2-3 quarters, but the game is still close? It's 28-21 or it's 28-31. And it's like, okay, can you score when it's a gotta have it moment though? When they're going to be calling their best calls, when they're going to be playing their best players, when they're going to be putting out and knowing that, hey man, this guy on third down likes to run play action pass. All right, well, we're going to make sure we call this blitz to pull up that.
And the pressure's on.
You know what I mean? Like not everybody can do that. So once again, I don't look at it as a negative that, it has to be or that it's been taking place at the end of these games. I actually look at it as a really dope positive because if you can do it in that part of the game where it's the most critical, where the stakes are the highest, and this is the moment where everybody, finds out who they are. If you're able to do that consistently, that's special. Because like I said, the other stuff will happen. That will develop, but you either have that or you don't have that. And one of the analogies that I always love, and I'm not even going to steal it, is from my man Danny Smith. We would talk about just the simple fact of performance under pressure. And he would say, most is this simple. When we talk about making plays out here, and we talk about just life, man, anybody can make a play out here. At this level, we're all nice. It's like, yo, he took a 2x4. Say, man, you put this 2x4 on the ground right now, and Deke, you could walk this 2x4 like it's nothing, right? You probably moonwalk on that thing like you Michael Jackson, huh? You do a little thriller thing up there, huh? Because it's on the ground right now, right? It's no pressure in this thing. It's cool. Now, say we went downtown, though. And you know that big Highmark, the Highmark building that's downtown? The one that sit like really, really high up in there? Now, what if we put that 2x4 up there by itself? And you like, man, it's kind of like you walking the plank. Now, it's still sturdy, but you got to walk on out on that thing. You ain't gonna be doing all that moonwalking and thriller. You gonna be on that thing sweating like a stripper, right? Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Bubba, I hope I don't fall. I'm nervous. Daddy, I don't want to go up there no more. Performance under pressure. Not everybody can do it in those moments. When you talk about those critical 2-minute drives, man, that's that performance under pressure. That's when you can't make a mistake. And not everybody's able to do that, man. So, like I said, with the offensive productivity, I look at it as a positive right now that they're at least getting it in that vein because the other stuff will come down the line.
Oh, 100%. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Just harder to score in the red zone. But also, we got to look at the game flow mattering. For this Steelers-Ravens game, there were 2 possessions by each team in the first quarter. I think they averaged a possession and a half throughout the first half each.
Think about it. We had a possession in the first quarter. They had a possession in the first quarter.
No, well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A possession and a half for like
if
you're averaging it per quarter, but like I think we each had 3 possessions in the first half.
Yeah,
total.
It was nuts, bro.
One each in the first quarter.
It was nuts.
That's that type of game. And so we're not going to get all the possessions that we might likely get over the course of a normal game because this is the Ravens. And we were both running the ball. It goes back to the Falcons. You look, remember that Falcons game? We only had like 6 or 7 drives. All the drives ended in like field goals or something positive. It was pretty much the same thing here. I think we had 2 3 and outs. Was that it? And they punted. Everything else, long drives. Boz missed the field goal. Like I think we'd be talking a little bit differently. Again, if like Boz is just, I don't know what the hell's going on with him this year. But if he makes that field goal and that penalty doesn't happen, it's 6-6 going into halftime.
It's different. Absolutely.
Instead of them being up because of the touchdown, and all that BS and stuff. But yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, you're right. The most important thing or the most positive thing and takeaway from this is we just got back-to-back game-winning drives in crucial moments by a rookie quarterback.
In prime time, bro.
With a bunch of other rookies and young players that are on offense, too.
All right, it ain't like we got a ton of vets out here. That's been one of the other knocks on our team. The youth. We're like, yo, they don't have the guy that you could just look to and say, hey, I've been here before. Follow my lead. They don't have a lot of that right now on offense, man. But you're seeing them learn that. They're learning it together, and that's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, and we were moving the ball. Like that's the other thing. We were just moving the ball.
Absolutely,
so I'm still looking at this offense with success. If I had to give Matt Canada a grade or however I want to look at this game, it's a positive. It's a thumbs up. Another good job.
Canada said, okay.
But people just probably want to look at the 13 points and we scored a touchdown
Canada
in the
said,
last
I got
drive.
heat for y'all. Canada said, y'all going to holler about some reports of me getting fired. Watch me jet sweep them, Derek Watt them, and I'm a game-winning drive them to death. And that's what he did. So shout out to Matt Canada.